Hi there, I'm Aaron, and I run FaceCash, which is a mobile payment system. Before I get too far into it, I should give a disclaimer, which is that I'm not related. My last name is Greenspan, I'm in finance, and I have a degree in economics, but I'm not related. So there's a lot of problems in the financial sector right now. One thing I particularly don't like is mayonnaise. I also don't like complicated tax returns and receipts that don't tell you anything about what you actually bought or where you bought it, such as this one. And the question is, what do you do about this? The problem's been around for a long time. So you can add some things to the mix, like the venerable barcode. It's been around since the 60s. We've all seen them everywhere. Person's face, everyone knows this guy. And maybe a cell phone, hopefully something more modern than that, but maybe even that. And you put them all together, and when you get a really giant jumble, or hopefully something more elegant, like FaceCash Wallet, which is our mobile application. So this is an app for iPhone, Android, and BlackBerry. It's a native app on all three. It also works in a web browser for older phones, and you can even use it on a sheet of paper, just like printing out your boarding pass with a barcode. So you could even have that brick phone. And once you sign up for FaceCash, if you're in the United States, you're going to use ACH to pre-fund your account. So it's kind of like PayPal. You're putting money in ahead of time, and then you have that balance to deplete when you go to buy things. And we're really hoping to get SWIFT involved here, because that way you could use a wire transfer to fund the account. Wouldn't have to be in the US necessarily, but that's down the road. So once your account's funded, there's a lot of features in the app that you can use, such as geolocated coupons. So this would show you a list of nearby merchants, and then you can choose the coupon you want to redeem at the point of sale, and the system would already know that you've applied for it, and you can get it taken off your bill. There's also peer-to-peer transfer built in, so you can send money to people on the system or people you know. Just type in the amount that you want to send, and it'll send the money instantly. And then you've got electronic receipts to replace the one you saw earlier, which are actually separated by personal or business expense, and then it tells you not only the amount, which is what we're all used to on your statement, but actually the line items of what you purchased. So if you want to get a hamburger that you got the last time at some restaurant with no mayonnaise, like I would want, then you can actually do that because you can see exactly what you bought. You can even split bills too, so if you go out with friends and you want to split that hamburger 7 ways, you can actually attribute it to different people or split it evenly. It's very simple, much better than like a pile of cash and credit cards, which is what I currently do every time I go out, and it's a giant hassle. So on the merchant side, we've built 2 options. The first is a web-based point-of-sale system, and this is an image of actually a web-based application. So this runs in Firefox, Chrome, any modern browser. It can run on a tablet, a kiosk, an old PC. It doesn't really matter, it's very flexible. And once you go to ring up the order, it'll ask you to scan the barcode, and then the person's face will show up on the register. So that means that the image is coming down from our server each time, and you know that it's the correct person. This can also be integrated with legacy point-of-sale systems like Dinerware as an example. So this is a Microsoft.NET plugin called the FaceCash Provider, and it lets you do the same thing. You go through the transaction process, you verify the person's identity, you say it's the right person, choose if it's personal or business, and then you're done. So we're working with all these POS companies to get this integrated, and we're talking to many more, but these have already committed to integrating FaceCash. And it's better for merchants because it's cheap. This is a 1.5% flat fee, and that's less than half a lot of times of the current fees that merchants pay on interchange rates. So it's very appealing to especially a large merchant, but even to small businesses as well. Our team has credentials from all the players you'd expect. I went to Harvard. We've got people from PayPal and Sun, so we're pretty well covered there. We've got a lot of merchants that have started using FaceCash in the Bay Area where we're located. And once you're signed up, you can then use all this data that we're acquiring to do analytics on your company. So if you want to know what you're selling on a given day, that's all available right there. And it even does accounting, and I could give a whole nother session on just this part. But basically, it's the first integrated accounting and payment system. So it's all one system. This is a balance sheet for a company. You can go in, do your taxes with a single click, see if your operating expenses are okay. It's all right there. So as far as traction goes, we're currently in the middle of a battle with our friendly neighborhood regulators. And as soon as we get their approval, we'll be happy to roll this out to thousands of merchants. But as you probably know, especially if you're a banker, that's a long and complicated journey. So if any of you want to help with that by partnering with us, we'd be happy to talk to you. But so that's to be continued. And I think we're on the right track because this is our homepage right now. You can see it at FaceCash.com. And we recently got our first Chinese clone. So you can go to, I think it's onejton.com and see someone who completely ripped off our intellectual property. But usually that's a good sign. So this is FaceCash. Thank you very much.
All right. questions?
You talk about adoption. I mean, that's going to be the single biggest hurdle, in my opinion, on getting this, because what you're trying to build is a closed ecosystem here. Have you thought about making more of an open ecosystem where you partner up with the card associations or something along those lines? Or is the intention to keep it as a closed ecosystem?
The intention is to keep it closed. With a margin of 1.5%, there's not a lot of room for resellers. And I've got some experience watching Facebook grow and building another ecosystem there. So I think we'll be okay. It'll just be a difficult but doable problem.
More questions? 1, 2, 3. Cindy.
How are you going to get the merchants?
Wait for the mic.
If you don't have the consumers using FaceCash, how are you going to get the merchants interested in implementing this?
So as I said, it's really cheap. Every merchant we've talked to loves the fact that it's 1.5%. So the fact that we can work with their existing point of sale systems and that it's going to save them money on every transaction makes it something that merchants want to adopt, and they'll bring consumers in because they're going to tell people, we want you to use this thing. It's cheaper for us.
And have you done the analysis since the new Dodd-Frank legislation went in?
Even if we're limited to 12 cents, we're still fine. I think it's 21 though, right?
Sorry, and what's in it for the customer? Why are they going to use this over all the other things that are out there, or their cards in their wallet?
Well, if you're at this conference, you're probably going to have to do expense forms when you get back. With our system, those don't exist. It's automatic. It goes right to your general ledger for your business. Also, you have the actual data about your receipts right on your phone forever. It's not limited to 6 months. We can store as many transactions as we need to. And it's just generally a more convenient way to pay. I didn't have time to include it, but you can also put your loyalty cards in there, so you can flip between different CVS or whatever cards if you want to. There's a lot of features built into the app.
Okay. Thank you very much. Great job.
Thank you.
Super.